I mentioned before with having dementia, it's like losing a friend. Now, when you're losing this friend, it's not like in real life where when you lose a friend, it generally happens all at once and it's all gone. With dementia, the losing of a friend is you're losing it in bits and pieces. You're losing different aspects of it. Like, let me see if I can give you an example. I don't know if I can give you an example. Um, well, actually, that within itself is losing an example, or is an example. Losing one's train of thought. That happens a lot with dementia, unfortunately, where in your mind, you have you have an idea of exactly what you want to say and how you want to say it, but it just either doesn't come across that way or you get it to come across, but then all of a sudden it just stops and you can't go any further. You just get stuck. Um, but losing a friend is in as much as kind of like losing memories. When you have all these memories from past experiences and things like that, and then all of a sudden you're losing them. That would be a good example of how you lose your friend in stages. Um, you remember things that you did when you were younger, or you're thinking back to things that you did when, maybe even just a few weeks ago, you were at an event or something and you did something. And, then all of a sudden you try to think back on it and you're missing parts of it. You don't, I mean, it's possible that you could forget all of it completely, but I'm not quite at that stage. I'm more or less at the stage that if something happened a few weeks ago, I'm just forgetting bits and pieces of it. But now that I kind of think back, there are times that I completely forget. Forget the entire episode. Forget that it even ever happened completely. And that really sucks. Especially when it comes to special occasions and things like that. You forget things happened. Forgetting is definitely the worst part of dementia. Now, the things that I'm discussing right now, I have discussed with other people and kind of gotten their feedback from, and that they were great. And even I agreed where I thought that they were great ideas for separate individual videos. But I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm just kind of giving a little sampling of everything in this video, I guess. Because, like, for example, there's a video that's going to be coming up of, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to call it, but it's going to be regarding when things go dark. Now, when I refer to the word dark, I am more or less meaning when I get to the point where I am incapable of expressing my needs, wants, and desires. I'm unable to communicate properly, things of that nature. And there actually are quite a few things that I want to, or I would like to accomplish before things go dark. Um, I kind of joked about it with Grace of how I had a bucket list. And this bucket list I created way back in 2005. And it had some kind of, it really didn't have anything crazy on it, but it had things that were doable. Because, sadly, since 2005, my financial situation has not changed any at all. But I was able to cross off a few things on my bucket list. For example, couple of things that were on my bucket list were to go to Disney and Universal and things like that. So I could cross them off. I've done them. One of the other things that was on my bucket list was to revisit Disney, Universal. And when I went to Disney, I had in there that I wanted to have the Disney experience, and experience Disney magic and things like that, as far as visiting with the characters and, have some special things done and things like that. And that actually happened on the first time around on my first visit. So that was great. For example, another thing that I have on my bucket list that I have not been able to cross off yet was I want to drive a Corvette. I want to drive a brand new Corvette. Well, not necessarily brand spanking new, but I want to drive a Corvette. I even put on my bucket list that since I'm not able to afford a Corvette, I don't know many people that can, but nonetheless, even though I can't afford a Corvette, a test drive will suffice. If I can test drive a Corvette, I would be happy. I'd be very happy, and I can cross it off my list. But anyway, enough of my bucket list. So, yeah, I kind of got things on there about when things go dark and stuff like that. That's still a work in progress. So I'm going to be working on that a little bit more. Um, losing a friend, I touched on it a little bit earlier in the first beginning part of this video. Um, that will definitely be an ongoing revisit, only because things change. Things honestly really do change as far as, the losing of a friend aspect. The other thing I'm going to be revisiting is going to be a day in the life of dementia. I'm going to be revisiting that in regards to um, what it's actually like. I mean, yeah, you kind of live your life normally per se, but each and every day that you wake up, it's completely different. Sometimes you remember to do things that are on your routine things to do and things like that. And for the most part, the rest of the time you forget. You just don't do them, or you remember at a later time to do them. For me, some basic, simple things like eating and things like that, that kind of comes natural, especially with me being diabetic. Trust me, you got the alarm clock telling you, look, you need to eat something or whatever. But outside of those basic needs, a lot of things you end up forgetting. But like I said, it's really difficult to describe. But waking up each and every day, some days are easier. Some days are a real challenge. Other days are easier, or at least they start out easier. Other days, they can be challenges. I mean, it depends on how you physically feel as well as mentally feel. I mean, mentally, are you actually with it? Are you completely with it? Are you just partially with it, where you're able to kind of get your basic necessities done and that's pretty much about it? And then you find yourself kind of staring off into your computer or what have you. Um, it's different every single day. I mean, it's taken me 3 to 4 days to actually get this video done, to try to figure out what I want to say and what I want to do. And obviously, as you can tell by the mixed content and mixed topic, I really haven't come to the conclusion of what I really want to do with this video. But as a conglomerate, if you will, it or compilation, it actually works for a video. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do as far as some of these other videos, but I know I definitely want to touch base with them um, in regards to, like, especially when things go dark. I definitely want to touch base with that. Um, it's kind of a scary thought thinking about when the time comes when things go dark. Because more than likely, personally, the way I think it's going to go down is that one day I'm just going to kind of wake up and all of a sudden I'm not going to be very communicative or be able to express my needs or anything like that. But then again, it may happen gradually where, over a period of time, I lose the ability to communicate as far as speak, actually type things out, things like that. So it's going to be interesting to see the way that it goes. Um, I think that's pretty much all for about now. Be good to yourself and others.